This is Aaron Machado. Now Aaron might seem like your average Aussie guy, and from all accounts he is. He had an average childhood, went to an average school, got average grades, lives in an average house. But there's something about Aaron that makes him incredibly unique. For starters, he's the only man in the world dating this woman, Kerry Braun. Now, Kerry is from an average town. She grew up in an average family, has average cooking skills, and owns an above average dog. Together, they might seem like your typical Australian couple, but there's much more to them than what meets the eye. These two are in charge of this facility. No, not the power station. I'm talking about the little building at the back there. This facility, which is run by the Australian Marine Wildlife Research and Rescue Organisation, better known as AMWRRRO. Kerry and Aaron spend their days rescuing seals, pulling fishing tackle off seabirds, and monitoring the local dolphin population, all with the help of countless volunteers. Now, I could go on and on about the incredible stories that take place within these walls, but it's probably best if you see them for yourself.
She's talking about a hole in the blue, blue sky. You know what she's talking about? And I don't know why. And he don't know why. And I don't know why. And he don't know why. And I don't know why. She's talking about a hole in the blue, blue sky.
It's a typical Monday morning in Adelaide, South Australia. While the rest of the population is taking part in the morning commute, Aaron is already at the rehab centre planning the day's events.
I guess the normal routine for us is, we start the day with the animals that we've got in care. We make sure that they're receiving as best treatment as they can. If they've got antibiotics or they need wound dressing changes, cages need scrubbing. And if the phone rings in and amongst all of that, before you know it, we've got a rescue on. In conjunction with that, we're doing reports, we're writing newsletters, where we're trying to get the name AMWRRRO out there as much as possible so that people have a direct port of call to us so that the animal can receive the appropriate treatment sooner rather than later.
One patient currently making the most of AMWRRRO's hospitality is JJ, an 18-month-old New Zealand fur seal that has been in care for the past 3 weeks.
We don't actually know what happened to him. Aaron received a phone call for a seal pup down on the beach down south. So Aaron went down there and collected him. He's got an injury to his eye and he was a little bit skinny, but other than that his condition was okay. Because of his eye injury, unfortunately he can't be released.
Having JJ in is a completely new and unique experience for us. We rarely get the opportunity to interact with these animals the way I am, and that's only because we are not in the business of supplying zoos around the world seals. These guys and all the other seals that we get in are only for rehabilitation for later release.
With release not an option for JJ, Aaron and Kerry need to do everything they can to find him a new home.
Unfortunately, the organisation that we had teed up to take Jay has just fallen through, which has set us right back to square one. You'd think that people would be jumping at the opportunity to have a little seal pup in care, but because of his eye, I don't think that's the case. He still does have a bit more rehab to do with us, so hopefully by the time that's finished, we'll have a new home for him to go to. So we're just going to have to keep our spirits up and hope that it's all going to turn out okay.
You're a good boy. No biting. I want my thumb back, please.
While caring for an orphan baby seal is definitely one of the perks of the job, the amount of money required to feed JJ stems well into the thousands of dollars. This puts a great deal of pressure on AMWRRO, who survives solely on donations from the public and the support of local businesses.
There's no such thing as an open checkbook in this line of work. Anything that you're really passionate about is really hard to get any type of funding for it. There's no such thing as government funding for the direct lives that we're saving. In a way, I'm happy about that, because that means the people that have come together to grow this organisation get to dictate what happens, gets to dictate what we do and how we do it, and if we can do it.
We were really excited to be approached by Aaron. We'd heard lots of great things of what he was doing out in the community and in the environment, and when we got together with him, we talked about ways that we could help, and one of those ways was to offer him a parcel of land and the facility that you now see. But it's not all about financial support. People generally like to help where they can, and we've had employees volunteer their time and effort out at the facility, whether it be a team of electricians wiring up the cage facility, or whether it be employees helping out with just general cleaning, feeding and general maintenance. So we've developed a great working relationship over the years, and I honestly believe that the wildlife of South Australia is far better off for having AMWRRO around.
Despite the passion and enthusiasm from everyone involved, not all animals can be treated in the centre. The more severe cases end up in the hands of Adelaide Zoo staff, who are AMWRRO's first port of call in an emergency.
We'd known about this bird for several days, but were unable to get to it earlier. Either it wasn't there or it was inaccessible. Luckily today we managed to grab him and rescue him. Unfortunately, we found that the bird has got so many more injuries and so many more complications than we first thought. Huge wounds, massive infection. So we called Wayne, our vet here at the Adelaide Zoo, and fortunate enough, he was able to fit us in straight away.
It's probably one of the worst cases I've ever seen. It was it had hooks in its mouth, on its neck. It's got an injured pouch, and it's got this terribly big wound on its back. So my initial reaction was to anaesthetise the pelican and give it a good full clinical examination and just examine this wound and see what was going on inside.
Anaesthetising any animal has inherent risks, especially if it's malnourished and has low blood pressure. In these situations, it's important for medical staff to constantly monitor the animal's heartbeat, a job Aaron has grown accustomed to over the past 13 years.
I can't do the heartbeat. I've got no heartbeat.
Nothing? Yes.
Considering its injuries, you'd have to wonder how it survived this long.
It's gone.
It was a surreal feeling for everyone involved. This guy presented himself as bulletproof initially. Massive wounds, open, infections, many days old. But unfortunately, this is a reality. This is something that we see on a day-to-day basis. This is considered normal in our line of work.
Given the fact that this poor pelican had been in the water for 8 days with all these terrible injuries and these hooks attached to it, it was amazing that it had survived for so long. But it wasn't as amazing as what happened 6 minutes, 38 seconds later.
It was almost as if he just opened his wing. He just retracted his wing. Watch. He's retracting his wings.
No, I think it's just...
There's no response there. There's no palpable. Oh, hang on.
That's right. No, there's movement and then there's movement.
Wayne, is.
Yeah, I've got foot reflex.
That was him.
Yep.
Keep causing pain. There you go. Oh, that went quicker. That right.
Come on, sweetheart.
Oh.
Okay, here we go, here we go. Hello. Good morning.
Okay, do you want me to take this out?
Yeah.
This tube?
You're right, sweetheart. You're right. You're right.
Alright, mate. Hang on.
Hello. Where have you been?
Sweetie.
Where have you been? To see it crash under anaesthetic is to be expected considering the bird's condition. To see it bounce back from that is something I can't explain. So that's, although that's really good, he's no way considered stable, and he's nowhere out of the woodworks as yet. We've still got a long road to recovery for this guy. So the best thing we can do for him right now is get him back to the facility and start his rehab tomorrow.
It's 3 days later and the bird that caused all the drama at the Adelaide Zoo seems to have disappeared.
It's a completely different bird, absolutely different animal altogether today. It's eating, it's preening, it's swimming, it's doing everything a normal pelican would do. If someone told me that bird had died 2 days ago, I wouldn't believe it.
With this pelican now on the mend, it allows Aaron and the other volunteers more time to focus on other aspects of the centre.
The way this facility was designed is in 3 stages. Stage 1, stabilising the animal. That's done in our clinic. The animal's given heat, wound dressing changes, emergency electrolytes, surgeries, follow-up surgeries if need be. Once they're finished in stage 1, they come out to the isolation cages. Here, they're basically isolated from us 100%. All we do is quickly feed, clean and get out. The animal then has a chance to it's got 2,000 litre pool, so it can swim, it can feed in the water, do everything it normally would do. Stage 3, which is the final stage, is the wetland. Here the animals can spread their wings, wet their flippers and interact with all other animals that are in care at the time. Before we release any animal, we have to be absolutely certain that we have not imprinted it in any way, and each animal has to prove that to us by catching its own fish.
Buying live fish from the market is a bit much to ask of local fishermen, so it's usually up to Aaron to take matters into his own hands.
This is one of my favourite spots. This is just out the back of AGL. Awesome deep hole, lots of water flow, which is cool for the fish. The fish are attracted to this area. In particular, today we're hoping to catch quite a few trumpeters and stock our pool with it. Good thing about trumpeters is you can catch them all different sizes. There's no rules about size or bag limits, which is good for us.
Joining Aaron on this fishing trip is Catherine, a third-year vet student who not only has a lot to learn when it comes to caring for marine wildlife, but also needs a few lessons on how to catch them.
Aaron.
Yes, Catherine. Oh my God!
We got it.
Yeah, keep it straight.
See if we've got a fish.
We've got about 20 fish in our bucket now, which is cool. Would have liked another 10, 15, but we've got a bigger problem on our hands, of course. A couple of pied cormorants have rocked up and they're starting to chase the fish as we're pulling it in. So in this case, we're going to practice what we preach and pack up and leave them alone. Further to that, we've got 20 fish in the bucket that we need to get back to the facility pretty quick because they're running out of oxygen. Okay.
While this exercise provides patients with a great source of enrichment, not all animals at the centre could swallow a fish of this size.
We often get little penguins brought in from down south. Quite often their injuries are from humans trashing burrows or interfering with them. When this happens, they can no longer be cared for by the colony or by their mum, so we need to act very quickly.
I don't like to pick favourites, but we've had Lily for so long, and watching little Lily Burger come in at say 4 to 6 weeks old, this little ball of fluff that was, she was pulled out of a nest. She was thrown against the ground. She's got physical issues. She had pneumonia. We have to nebulise her 3 times a day just to keep the pneumonia under control. So to watch her come out of this little ball when we first got her, as gorgeous as she was, to this pretty grumpy little girl, it's pretty cool. She's pretty cool chick.
Due to her daily treatments, Lily has become so accustomed to humans that Aaron believes she is no longer eligible for release.
It's one of the hardest parts about this job is being presented with such a young animal like Lily that was extremely young, extremely sick, and extremely injured. Knowing the age of the animal and the level of care that she was going to need to become an adult, a sub-adult, to be released, inevitably you're going to imprint an animal to a degree, and she was heavily imprinted. So who's to say, if we were to release her, that she wouldn't just stumble across Peggy Sue or Joe Blogg walking down the beach and demand a feed from them, stumble up and start begging. They're going to go, "What's this crazy thing's problem?" We just can't take that chance.
As much as we would like to keep her, we can't. We're not a zoo or a holding facility. So she's actually going to go down to Granite Island to a facility down there that has captive penguins. So this is her last day.
Granite Island sits just off the coast of Victor Harbour, approximately 100 kilometres south of Port Adelaide. Over 180 little penguins call this island home, including the residents of the Granite Island Penguin Centre, which is run by full-time volunteers Dorothy and Keith Longdon.
I've known Dorothy and Keith and the Penguin Centre here for 7 to 9 years. We've got a great working relationship where if there are young animals found either abandoned or attacked by dogs and or injured by fishing tackle or whatever, we'll work together to get these animals back up and running as soon as possible so that we can then release them.
She is going to spend probably the rest of her life here because she's unable to be released. So she will have to stay here with the others. It's always, a bit of a strain at first when we first get the little penguins in here, because we don't know how they're going to react to with the other penguins. Oh, you're gorgeous!
Don't run away. Oh, wow!
Oh, this is your new home.
She's gone so well.
She is. It's amazing what you've done.
You want to take her straight out?
It was really good to see Lily mixing with the other penguins today. She was initially a little bit stressed. We introduced her outside and she was gasping for air a little bit. It's a really hot day and, the stress and anxiety of her travel over here. But she was squabbling with the other penguins after not too long, and then she jumped in the water for a swim. And so that was fantastic. I think she's settled in already. It's almost as if she's been here for months.
After 6 long months of rehabilitation, Lily's time with AMWRRRO has finally come to an end. While her story is a happy one, the same can't be said for all of AMWRRRO's patients.
It's 11 o'clock Tuesday night and Aaron and I have worked all day and we're absolutely exhausted, and we've just had a call out for an Australian sea lion. So Aaron and Sarah, one of our volunteers, have gone down south to look for it. So I'm here at the rehab centre setting up and trying to get everything organised for when it comes in care. We don't know what we're dealing with at this point.
$27.5. Having arrived on site and found her in the condition she is in, she's very dehydrated, she's very stressed. She is without mum, so there's a lot of contributing factors to that stress. It's not just the fact that she's in a foreign place or an alien place for her. In this case, she was found on a boat ramp, pretty well asleep underneath a tractor tyre. When I got there, the tractor had moved, and I could see a tractor line almost going over her back. So I don't know whether Parks got there in time to basically tell everyone to get the hell away from it and stop reversing.
Oh, okay.
And there were no lights down there, so the tractor could have run over her abdominal cavity. Don't know. Okay, she's head shaking. Kerry, come and have a look at this rear flipper, please. Here you are, sweetheart. Tell me what you're doing back there, please.
I'm just getting a temperature.
Right, I want to know what you're doing every move so I know when she's going to start freaking out.
With the cause of the seal pup's condition still a mystery, Aaron and Kerry can do nothing more than treat each symptom that presents itself. However, despite over 20 seal rescues to their name, this young sea lion is exhibiting something neither of them have seen before.
Her body heat is so intense. It's about 3 degrees higher than what it should be, which, as anyone knows, if you're a human and that's the case, you're in serious trouble. She's quivering. She's got a very, very bad case of diarrhea. Her urine is very concentrated, so at this point in time you can see we've got an IV line running in and subcut fluids running in to help rehydration. That'll help her with her rehydration, obviously. Bring stress levels down because she'll start to feel better. At the moment she feels like she's been hit by a truck. Just all, yeah, like a big hangover. Not a nice feeling to have. Plus, have a bloke my size lying on your back's gonna, that's a pretty nasty thing to have happen to anyone.
It's nearly impossible to know what's going on with her. We've taken bloods and sent them off for biochemistry and haematology, and we've sent them off as urgent, but even then we're probably not going to get them back for another 24 hours. So we just need to stabilise her tonight and make her comfortable, and hopefully tomorrow she'll be going okay. We'll see how she is in the morning.
The next 48 hours are critical for this animal. I will not consider her stable for 42 to 72 hours. And that is the first night, 3/4 of the next day, that night, and if she can do that for 3 nights and get 72 hours, we'll consider her somewhat stable. But tonight will ultimately be her biggest test.
It's the next day, and despite a sleepless night, Aaron wastes no time getting to the rehab centre to check on the baby sea lion.
Arrived this morning at about 8:30, 8 o'clock. She was looking really good. She'd survived overnight. Fluids were still going into her, so that obviously worked a treat. About 2:30 she started to go downhill. Contacted the vets just to log in with them what was going on, where he recommended antibiotics. And that was noted, and in preparation in doing that, in getting the drugs ready that the vets recommended we administer, the animal obviously passed. To be honest, I don't think she's even with us. I can't hear her. We shook. Give me the stethoscope. She's not with us. She's gone. Poor girl. Damn it. If it gets easier, you're not human. You have to feel for the animal and feel for the people that put the time and effort into the animal. So, time and effort is nothing. It's physically watching that pain and not being able to physically stop it. You want to stop it instantly. Just say, sorry dude, pain finished. Let's find out the problem. It's not that easy.
You know, you think you get used to it after a while, but each case is so individual. It's hard not to grow attached to them, even though she was only in for not even 24 hours. You put your heart and soul into these animals and try and do everything that you can to pull them through, but sometimes everything just isn't enough. You know, we can't save them all.
As a rescue officer, you have to focus on what positive you've got. You've got the call before it's washed up dead. That's all you've got. But rarely do you get the opportunity to save it. The marine wildlife, it's a different ballgame. It's a specialist species. All seabirds and marine mammals are specialists. For that reason, they're so hard to bloody save.
It's a testing time for Aaron and Kerry, who are both desperate to solve the mysteries surrounding the sea lion's death. But with no answers on the immediate horizon, Aaron turns to other patients for hope and comfort.
Whenever you experience something as tragic as that, I think it's really important that not only myself, or everyone involved basically focuses on whatever positive energy there is left in the place. At this point in time, we're all focusing on JJ. We've had the word out there for quite a while now, and it's been great. We finally had a bite of the cherry. Finally had Julie from AMWRRO, who's keen to come down and see him sometime soon. And we're all hoping that Julie and JJ kick it off really well, and that we can secure him a permanent and suitable home for the rest of his life.
It's a nerve-wracking day for Aaron and the volunteers. Julie, the General Manager of AMWRRO in Queensland, is making the long trip down to Adelaide to meet JJ face to face.
It's hard to know what to expect today. Hopefully AMWRRO can provide JJ a permanent home, and hopefully they fall in love with him the way we did. Just because he's got that physical injury, everyone was a bit standoffish, which is, it's annoying, it's disappointing, but it's great that Julie's taken the time to fly down today and have a look, so fingers crossed.
The most important thing for us is that he needs to fit into the existing population that we have, so the fact that he's male, it fits in perfectly with our current population and our future population management program. We do have very high level of interaction with the public, so it's very important to us to see that he's meant to be an ambassador for his species and for all seals, and we're wanting to give a good story about them.
JJ! Hey dude! Come on! JJ! JJ, come! Good boy! Come up here, on your bed. Don't worry about Julie. JJ. Good boy! Good boy!
I wasn't sure what type of training you would want to have put in place, if at all. So all I've done was just basic commands so that he understands that, good boy! So that, that a hand is not a thing to be biting, it's a thing that'll give him feed. It was pretty hard to tell what Julie was thinking today. It was almost playing poker with the world champion, just poker face, no ifs, buts, whatever. She was here to do a job. At this stage, it's really up to JJ and Julie to hit it off. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's what's happening. The only person that can really tell us that is Julie.
I was absolutely ecstatic. He had me at hello, basically. So he's a gorgeous animal. He's in really good condition. His skin's in really good condition. He's showing all the normal behaviours. I could basically say, I don't know that our keepers would have done a better job than what Aaron's done. So absolutely, top marks for him.
Despite being given the nod from Underwater World, JJ will have to wait another month before he is shipped to his new home. This will allow Aaron and Kerry enough time to finish his rehabilitation and attend to other wildlife emergencies.
We've just received quite a few photos of two of our local Port River dolphins. At Wave and Tallulah, they're a mother and calf. They've got some pretty nasty looking bacterial, fungal infections, skin infections is all we can put it down to at this point in time. I guess the most important thing for us to do at the moment is launch the vessels, get out there as soon as possible, take our own photographs, maybe take a skin scraping if possible so we can do some lab analysis, find out what's going on. But it's all hearsay at the moment. The most important thing we need to do as a priority is get out in the water and get some photos and see how these animals are going.
Finding 2 dolphins in an area the size of 16,000 football fields is an extremely difficult task. In these situations, Aaron could do nothing more than survey the areas where the animals were last seen. And it doesn't take him long to spot the first dolphin of the morning.
We've got a dolphin up on our bob out at the moment. It doesn't seem to be waved, only because I can't see Tallulah, her calf. So we're just going to keep following her real slowly for a wee bit. It looks like it's having a feed, so we don't want to disturb it.
All these questions left inside. Singing.
Adelaide is believed to be the only city in the world with dolphins permanently living in its port. This puts a great deal of pressure on AMWRRO to not only protect Adelaide's 40 resident bottlenose dolphins, but to carefully monitor the behaviour of each individual they come across, even if that behaviour is best kept away from prying eyes.
Right, we've come up to another, well, two pods actually, which have merged together. Again, Wave and Tallulah unfortunately are not in and amongst these guys, but having said that, they're making the most of a nice morning. I guess this is young males that are pushing the boundaries with the females. They're trying to get a bit of action first thing in the morning. Cheeky buggers that they are, and unfortunately, she's really not that keen for it. But having said that, they're all over the place at the minute. We've got calves on both sides and all around the boat interacting and trying to get some. So it's a pretty aggressive breeding behaviour, but considering we've got such a high mortality rate in the river, we've got about a 55% mortality rate. This type of aggressive breeding behaviour is considered a good thing. Otherwise, the Port River pod could be questionable whether it's here in the future. So it's probably something you shouldn't be zooming in on, but nonetheless, it's a completely normal behaviour for these guys to be aggressive when it comes to breeding and carrying on.
Not overly keen to stay and watch the show, Aaron decides to continue the search further upstream. Dolphins are attracted to these areas due to the high concentration of fish living amongst the mangroves. But even the temptation of a seafood smorgasbord isn't enough to coax Wave and Tallulah out of hiding.
Unfortunately, we haven't come across Wave and Tallulah this morning, which is a bit of a shame. The weather's turning pretty nasty. It's heading around the south, so it's getting pretty late in the day as well. So, we've checked out about 20 dolphins in total, and she's not in the main areas that we thought she'd be. So nothing unusual for wild animals. We'll just maintain the search over the next few days, and eventually we'll get some decent photographs of her, and hopefully we'll be able to identify what's going on. But at the same time, there's plenty of things to do back at the office, so we've got to make tracks and get out of here.
It's 4 days later, and while Wave and Tallulah are still yet to be seen, Aaron's attention has turned to JJ, who is moments away from the biggest move of his life.
Huge day today, massive day. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, no sleep, nervous. We have to do something to JJ that we've never done before, and that's crate him, which is put him in a small enclosure that he don't want to be in for 8 hours by the time he gets from here to Queensland. Get him on the plane, get ourselves on the plane. It's a logistical nightmare today, and I guarantee you when we get him to AMWRRO, he will be an absolute snot. He will not do anything that I've trained him to do in the past 3 months, and that's to be expected considering it's a stressful day for him and us.
Waiting at the airport to meet JJ are Brendan and Katie, two of AMWRRO's most experienced SEAL trainers who will be working closely with JJ over the next few months.
We've all been really excited about JJ coming. We know some of our SEALs will be really excited to have a SEAL his age to play with, and also our New Zealand fur SEAL Sly. It'll be really nice for him to have another New Zealand fur SEAL here.
Before any introductions take place, JJ needs to overcome the stress of the big move. However, despite Aaron's best attempts to help him settle in, it's pretty clear that JJ is less than appreciative.
JJ, come. Come. Good boy. Come here. Come here. JJ. You're a bit freaked out still, aren't you, dude? You'll be right.
With JJ not showing any interest in Aaron or the other trainers, the natural solution is to offer him some food. But even a fresh piece of Queensland fish isn't enough to tempt JJ into cooperating.
I guess this is something that we potentially expected, that he might be a little bit funny about the trip. But you know, I think the behaviour that he's exhibiting is totally normal, and we've just got to work with him in his own time.
Probably for him right now, sleeping and getting used to his new environment is taking priority for him. So that's probably more at the forefront of his mind than eating. And I'm sure he'll start eating soon once he starts to feel a bit more comfortable.
Food may not be on the top of JJ's list of preferences, but having been away from the water for nearly 8 hours, a swim is definitely something he's willing to consider.
He's having a great time. You little sea otter, aren't you?
Seeing JJ relaxed and swimming freely is a welcome sight for Aaron and Kerry, but it's far from being the day's only positive outcome.
It's been a great day. The people here that have come out to meet Jay, they've worked 10 days straight and they're here on their days off just to see Jay. So we know the dedication on their behalf is there. It's great. He's got an awesome pool. He's got interactive windows, and he's already showed interest in that when children have come up tapping on the window, and he's gone and interacted with that. So that's a good thing. So as stressed as he is relaxed. He is happy. I'm probably just being a overprotective worrywart at the moment, but that's to be expected considering there's a lot, there's a lot riding on this, coming all this way and having it not turn out. So he's doing well considering. We'll leave it at that for now, and fingers crossed for tomorrow morning he comes good.
Having only eaten 3 fish in the past 24 hours, the first thing Aaron and Kerry want to see is if JJ is ready for a feed. But this is a difficult task considering JJ doesn't want to leave his crate.
JJ. JJ. Come on. Flipper. I'll play with your flipper. Try you with a whiting. Come. Good boy. Good boy. Try it. Whiting. I don't give a crap. Good boy. Good boy. Come on, man.
With JJ still refusing to eat, Aaron and Brendan decide that the timing might be right to start introducing him to his new family.
You'll be right, mate. She's an old girl. Be nice. Dude. JJ, come and say hello. JJ, that's a bit rude. Don't take it personally, sweetheart. He hates me too. JJ wasn't too interested in that, unfortunately, so we'll see. We're going to bring the big dude in. He's 250 kilos, so hopefully when he vocalises, JJ will sort of perk up a bit and hopefully try and tackle him. This will be interesting.
You can't ignore this dude, can you? He's huge. JJ, come.
Don't freak at me, dude.
With JJ still sulking and showing no interest in the other seals, Aaron decides that enough is enough.
Come on. Come. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
That's nothing that we like doing, but there has to be an interaction with these animals and Jay, and sobbing in the corner is a part of his stress that he's got to go through. At the same time, there's animals here that are keen to see him. They're not going to do him any harm. Now he's in the water having a good time versus that stuck in a corner. So he's got an option to get away if he wants to.
While JJ is still a little unsure of his new housemate, it doesn't take him long to find the courage to say another hello.
Oh, kisses. Good boy. Did she just give him a lick? Did she just give him a lick? Or just a nuzzle? Okay.
Now that JJ has gotten over his intimacy issues, the time has come to see how he goes with Tico, a much younger and more playful Australian sea lion.
JJ. JJ, it's been hot.
JJ, you okay? Good, JJ. You right? JJ? JJ, you're right, dude. You're right. It's okay. Yes. Say hello.
Less than impressed with this second introduction, JJ decides that he's probably safer watching from the sidelines.
You're right. You're right, JJ. JJ, you're right. JJ, you're okay. Good boy, JJ. You're right. Don't do that, dude. She's gonna get you now.
Despite this adrenaline-charged introduction, it only takes JJ a couple of hours to accept his role in the hierarchy. While this is a positive outcome for everyone involved, it leaves Aaron to carry out the most difficult task of the day.
Well, this is JJ's farewell to me, in effect. He's interacting so well with these two girls. It's great. It's reassured me that that the chapter we had together is finished. But it's awesome to see that he's got these girls and that they're so gentle with him. All right, I got a little spook. That's to be expected. But this is a hard goodbye. It's not goodbye. It's just see you soon.
Yeah, it must be hard for Aaron to say goodbye. I mean, most of the time when he's rehabilitating seals, they have very little human interaction, which is what you're trying to do when you're putting them back in the ocean. This little fella needed a home. We were very lucky that we were able to provide it. So Aaron's had probably a lot more contact with this animal compared to all the other seals he's looked after. He's done an exceptionally good job. Definitely saved this little seal's life, and he's now over 10 kilos, doing really well. And although Aaron's had to say goodbye today, he's going to get a lot of emails, a lot of video footage, and I'm sure he'll be back here as well.
See you, dude. It's probably the hardest release we've ever done. Shit. Where am I going?
He said up past where we were staying.
That's one street over. It was a really weird feeling driving away without Jay. It's he's been such a huge part of my life for the past sort of 3-4 months. Today, cleaning out his cage, first thing I normally do is walk in and scream out JJ, and he calls back, and that's not happening today. That's mixed emotions about that. Happy, seeing him interact with those girls was wonderful. Being as cheeky, he hasn't lost that, which is great. I don't want him to lose that. There's a void at the moment that's really hard to fill. So I don't know whether I want him to remember us. I think now he's gone back to his seal days, so to speak. So he's going to be somewhat of a seal, albeit somewhat trained, but trained in a way that if he ever needed anything, he's got it right there. And with an animal as debilitated as Jay, I think that's really important.
With JJ's chapter now closed, it's not long before Aaron and Kerry are set to close another one. Matthew, the pelican who died and miraculously sprung back to life, is ready to be released.
It's been an emotional roller coaster watching him, obviously crash that day and then come to. But he's can't wait to get out of the facility. He's flying. He's proved to us that he's ready to go, which is awesome. Huge amount of volunteers and crew have rocked up today to watch this. They've all had a part of his rehabilitation and been a part of his story and a part of his life for the 8 weeks he's been here. So they're all keen to watch him fly off and spread his wings. So basically, in effect, today is payday for me and for the volunteers. This is what we work for. Come on. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Hello, dude. Okay.
It's pretty amazing to think about everything that's happened since we've had Maddie in care. I don't think his farewell is going to be as hyped up as JJ's. I think Aaron's going to walk down to the beach, open his arms and let him go.
Hello, fisherman. I'm not going to see you. Can't explain this. Can't explain it. Words can't explain how awesome that feels. Here he goes, he's off. Good day. Good day. Awesome day. Back to it.
It's easy to think that our job is done, especially after such an emotional release like that one. But we've still got animals in the facility that need to be cared for. There's a couple of dolphins that are in urgent need of attention. We've still got so much to do and things to keep us occupied.
I've always said that if we were doing this job in 20 years, then we basically failed. We don't want to see these animals in care. We don't want to see them with horrible injuries and having to go through rehabilitation. The only time we ever want to see them is when they're out in the wild. But we can't stop what we're doing until the change takes place out there. And ultimately, until that happens, then we'll be around picking up the pieces and do what we do.